So there it is, the start of the Southwest Coast Path. So am I walking the Southwest Coast Path? I look like I could be. I've got a big bag on my back with a tent and all that other stuff. So yeah, sounds like the sort of thing I might try. But no, as you can tell, I'm walking away from the start and I'm walking in this direction here. Today I'm not embarking on the Southwest Coast Path. I'm embarking on the Southwest Coast Bus. Yeah, so the idea of the Southwest Coast Bus is really for me to have a better investigation of this little corner of England that I call home. This time of year there are lots of open-top buses run along the coast, and we're going to start off by getting the Exmoor coaster and heading on down to Ilfracombe. I won't be looking at the West Somerset Railway today, but maybe I'll come back another time. However, the bus stop is right outside the station. As no Johnny Hoover video is complete without a map, and this is quite a special trip, let's start with two maps. Up first, this one gives you a general idea of what the Southwest Coast Path is. Fast walkers can complete it in around 30 days, but the website says most will take 52 days. Either way, it's over some very hard terrain. Walking the 630 miles is definitely a challenge for anyone. But using buses though, I plan to get it down to maybe 10 days. This first bus, the Exmoor coaster, will provide an open-top overture to the challenge, taking me through Porlock, Lynmouth and Combe Martin on into Ilfracombe, as Somerset becomes North Devon. Right, the bus is here, let's climb on board. And we're on paying the current Standard England fixed bus rate of just £2. I've also had a very useful second breakfast in the lovely cafe over the road, and that should set me up well for quite a long day ahead. We'd better all get used to this, because buses avoiding cars will be a repeating trope for this series. And soon we're into Porlock, and we've got that hill to confront. Now, anyone that knows the roads around here will be aware of Porlock Hill. Our driver pulls over and gives the passengers a short pep talk about what the bus is now facing. Because Porlock Hill will rise as 221 metres over a distance of just 1.6 kilometres. The steepest gradient being 1 in 4 or 25%. We pause halfway up. It allows a few trailing cars to pass, but then the uphill grind continues. And now we get a great view out across the Bristol Channel. I can make out the South Wales coast, but I'm not sure the camera can pick it up in this light. And true to its name, the coaster now chugs on through parts of Exmoor. It's chilly, but it's very beautiful too. This really is a wonderful way to start my 10-day odyssey around the southwest coast. Open-top buses make all the difference, and let's hope the rain holds off at least until Ilfracombe. Before Lynmouth, our driver pauses once again to warn us of both a steep descent and also tell us about the precipice just beside the road. But let's go, and we'll trust in the bus's brakes. Lynmouth sits below its sister town of Linton above. Now there's a great walk here if you follow the river up to Watersmeet, where there is also a lovely tea room too. However, we've no time for that though. After many passengers alight, we continue on back up the hill and back into the moor. And once again, there's always time for the sport of trying to squeeze a double-decker up a narrow road featuring parked cars and oncoming traffic. However, it is worth it though, just to enjoy this wooded valley of the West Lynn River. Finally, we reach the top at Barbrook, and then we're back on the A39 and back crossing the moorland. Incidentally, at Barbrook there was a public toilet where the driver provided everyone with the chance of a quick comfort stop. A nice touch. We came on a family holiday to Combe Martin when I was a boy, and I remember being underwhelmed by the beach. You see, I was used to South Devon's wide sandy bays. The Exmoor coaster must be one of the longest open-top services in the UK. We are now due to arrive into Ilfracombe at 12:10, this bus having originated in Blue Anchor in Somerset at 9:35. That gives a scheduled running time of 2 hours and 35 minutes. The road swings around, and up here on the bus there's a great view of Heel Bay, meaning we'll soon be in Ilfracombe. We enter Ilfracombe high above the harbour and the beach, so there's going to be one more descent for our open-top bus today. Ilfracombe is a fairly busy town and holiday resort here in North Devon, so the bus has to weave its way down to the stop near the harbour. And what looks like two mini cooling towers is actually the landmark theatre. And then we're here, and the coaster can take a well-earned rest. It's due out again in about 30 minutes. Walking up the right-hand side of the harbour, you can just see in the distance Verity, a huge statue by Damien Hirst. Now, I do regret not taking a close look at it, so my apologies for that. Yeah, so that's the first run on the Exmoor coaster, and here we are at Ilfracombe. And I think I've been to Ilfracombe once as a small boy, but I really don't remember, so effectively this is the first time I recall actually being here, really. And sort of faded glory holiday place, but it was a great bus ride, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. So definitely Exmoor coaster, have a go on that one, that's a definite. So next up is number 21, and we catch it from the same bus stop I got off the Exmoor coaster in about 25 minutes. So probably time for a coffee and possibly finding a toilet. And then, yeah, we're off to Bideford. So it's a standard double-decker for this run, but I have got the coveted upstairs front seat, so that's a winner. This also marks the first compromise of the series, as there are buses out to both Woolacombe and also Croyd, which are on the southwest coast path. But these bus routes are just out and back. There's no way of actually hugging the coast between the two. Hence, we're on the direct bus to Barnstaple and then on to Bideford. The southwest coast path is now running parallel to us here, as, like us, the walkers will have to get into Barnstaple in order to cross the river. The railway station at Barnstaple is now a terminus, but people are lobbying hard for the line to Bideford to be reinstated. I've travelled this part of the route on the channel before when I was doing the Oakhampton round robin a year or so ago. Now that's a trip from Exeter that I'd highly recommend. The run takes us along the south edge of the Tor estuary until we meet the River Torridge at Instow, which incidentally looks out across the water to Appledore. Now the road, the route of the old railway and the southwest coast path all follow the river down to Bideford. And then we cross the ancient bridge over the Torridge for the quayside and the bus stop. And our bus will continue on to Westwood Hoe. I think it's clear to see why diving would be a very bad idea here. And we made it to Bideford. That was a nice run, got the front seat, everything was good. Yeah, we've been here before, on the channel as well, when I came on round robin through Oakhampton and Bideford. And therefore I'm going to do something that I should have done last time I was here, and I'm going to do something that I did do last time and I won't need to repeat. That is, if the cake shop's still open. It's that time of the afternoon, definitely need cake and coffee. Yeah, so what I failed to do last time I was in Bideford was walk across the lovely long bridge and then go and visit the old railway station. And here we are at the station. And there's the old railway line snaking off towards Barnstaple. Just a little bit of southern green and yellow on the old station building and also on the old lampstands. It feels that maybe the dream of returning the railway here from Barnstaple could be realised. Oh look, there's a little locomotive hiding at the back here. Well, it's just starting to drizzle, but up to now we've been a bit lucky with the weather. Now I'm about to set off on my final trip, and that's on a number 319 to Hartland, which is where I'm going to be putting my tent up. And it does reflect one of the features of South West Coast Bus, which is if you try to use the smaller bus services and hug the coast, what actually happens is, of course, they don't run every 30 minutes, so that's why I've spent quite some time here in Bideford, as I've had to wait. I came into Bideford about 2:30ish, and I've had to wait till gone 5 o'clock before my bus actually leaves for Hartland. And tomorrow morning, I'd better be on that first bus out of Hartland, otherwise not going to be a very exciting video for tomorrow's story. Anyway, that's jumping ahead. I'm going to walk back over the bridge and pick up that 1709, I think it is, 319 to Hartland. So the name inscripted there is John Richard Pinecoffin, Esquire. I kind of think a surname Pinecoffin does actually mean you're going to get an awful lot of bullying or certainly ribbing at school. So bus number 3 of the day is another Enviro 400, and it brings the total cost of the day's riding to a manageable £6. My campsite tonight also costs me £10, so this is definitely budget YouTubing. It's a great climb away from Bideford, even though the weather has really taken a turn for the worse now. It isn't busy on here, but with it being a 5 PM departure, I'm sure it's a critical service for some people that work in Bideford and live out this way. And we pass a sign showing 9 miles to Hartland. But with all the country bus deviations that this journey will take, it's going to be another 45 minutes before we arrive. And now we're off the A39 on one of our scheduled detours. This one is through a village that I think is pronounced Woolsery. Immediately on rejoining the A39, we turn off again for the tourist honeypot village of Clovelly. But the bus won't enter the village, we just do a circuit of the visitor centre car park and then we're away again. Clovelly is a private village that has been owned by the Hamlin family since 1738. Therefore the public must pay an entrance fee to even enter the village. At Clovelly Cross we find the A39 again, but quickly leave it for the final time to cut across to Hartland. There's still 1 or 2 of us on the bus, and I suppose I could move to the front, but by now I am very tired. I left Topsham very early this morning to be at Minehead in time to start this trip. I'm now ready for some pub grub, a pint or 2, and my cosy sleeping bag. Here we are. I got off because I just saw the campsite go past on the bus. It's back up here just a little way. Right, this'll do. All I have to do is put up a tent, and my tent is incredibly quick. And with that, thank you so much for watching day 1 of South West Coast Bus. And you can find day 2 here when it's released.